I'm going to screen share again.
Okay.
Now, what we want to do is we want to work this slide 2 following the rules on slide 1. All right, so we're going to have a metronome up and running. Yeah, Jeff Berlin would be mad at me.
Why is that?
He doesn't like metronomes.
Really?
I mean, he says don't use them at all. I mean, he's like, throw it away. Use your internal clock. And I agree to a point, but my thing about a metronome is that it's a perspective check. I mean, it lets you know where you can actually audibly work on lining stuff up. Because the biggest thing with a metronome, I think, is that not that it helps you with time or anything, but it teaches you to lock with an external time source.
Like a drummer.
Yeah, or a drummer, or a click track in a studio, or something that you've got to listen to somebody else and stay in time with them. Right? That's what a metronome gets you used to doing. That's its real benefit. But it's also, a reality check in the sense that, if you find yourself, pushing ahead a little bit or falling behind a little bit, it'll let you know.
Yeah.
So anyway, 1,000 apologies, Jeff, but we're going to use it anyway.
What does he know?
Actually, quite a bit.
Yes, I know. We're not going to mention that.
Yeah. Actually, he's an extremely great bass educator. I mean, as well as being a great, world-class player, he's really got his ducks in a row as far as education goes. He's got a school down in Florida called the Players School of Music in Orlando, or Clearwater, I think. And it's supposed to be a really good bass school. They might do other instruments there too, I think. But it's kind of like the AIM I teach at. It's kind of like one of those vocational to fry kind of instrumental programs. Vocational school.
Well, when you say vocation, do you teach those folks at AIM the reading the music and everything like this too?
Actually, this is level 1 reading, yeah, of AIM. I designed the whole reading course there.
Oh, good. Good.
I started that bass program in 1985.
Wow. It's 20 damn years.
Yeah.
Wow.
And I ran it for its first 6 years. And I left for a while. Got busy playing, and I came back, I guess, about 5, 6, 7 years ago, something like that. First rule: count off out loud. All right, the count off synchronizes your internal clock with what you're going to be playing with. So do not underestimate the power of a count off. Right?
Like
in fact, it's probably the most important part of the whole song.
When you say count off, like 1, 2, 3.
Right, but in the case, since we're working with this slide 2 here, if we look at it, everything's eighth note based. In other words, the count, everything's going to line up with 1 and, 2 and, 3 and, or 4 and count. You understand that?
Mm-hmm.
Everything has to exactly start or stop on one of those counts. Right?
Mm-hmm.
So the count off is going to synchronize, us with the metronome in this case. So you really want to focus on that count off and give it some serious attention. All right, keep counting out loud as you play. This is a practice technique that's going to reinforce our subdivision and counting that we would want to have going on mentally while we play. All right, keep your eyes on the music. That may seem obvious when you're reading music, but I've seen people hit a whole note and check their text. So wait for the whole note to end. 1, 2, 3. All right. So keep your eyes on the music. No texting while reading. All right. So anyway, tap your foot on the downbeats, right? And observe exact note duration.
Observe exact note duration. Observe.
No, we're going to be focused on reading literally, starting and stopping the music exactly where the music is telling us to.
Okay.
All right. Now, as far as 4/4 time goes, what does 4/4 mean?
It's 4 beats per measure, and a quarter note has 1 beat.
Right. What does the top number tell you?
The
The top 4 means what?
I would think for the number of beats per measure.
Well, yeah, but and that's correct. But specifically, I would say the top number tells you how many of the bottom number are in the measure.
Oh, I
mean, it's just a different way to say the same thing, really.
Yeah. How many? The top number tells you how many in the bottom number are in the measure.
How many of the bottom number are in the measure, right? And then the bottom number tells you what value of note gets the beat. Right? So we got 4 quarter notes in the measure, 4 quarter notes in the measure, with a quarter note getting the beat. Right, the next question is, okay, well, what does getting the beat mean?
The downbeat.
Well,
Does that mean?
It means kind of two things in 4/4 time, and in different type signatures, this part of the definition will change. But since 95% of the stuff we're going to play is in 4/4, it's okay to kind of think of just 4/4 for now. But in 4/4 time, getting the beat means it's where you place a numbered part. What value of note gets a numbered part of the count? In other words, when I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, the quarter note's getting that.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
It's also where we tap our foot and feel the pulse of the music.
Mm-hmm.
That's what getting the beat means. Okay?
Okay.
Now, in working with exact note duration, we want to start and stop the notes exactly with a syllable that the note starts or stops with. And we can use a technique I call the out-of-time approach with this. Right? With the out-of-time approach, basically we don't count off and we don't tap our foot because we're not working in a strict sense of time. But we still keep our eyes on the music, we still count out loud, and we still start and stop the notes exactly with the syllables we're supposed to start and stop on. In fact, the out-of-time approach specifically focuses on starting and stopping the notes exactly with the syllables. Right?
Okay.
But
Okay.
we're just focusing on that part.
That?
We're taking it out of context, focusing on starting and stopping the notes with the syllables, right? That's really what that's about.
Okay.
Okay? Now, we're reading literally here in respect that, a lot of times when you read stuff, you're not, and working, especially in groove-oriented music, like R&B or stuff like that, if you're reading those kind of charts, you're not going to necessarily play the value of the note exactly the way it's written. You're going to feel it to a degree. You're going to interpret it musically. Right? In order to interpret effectively, having a solid point of reference on the starting and stopping of the note, exactly what it is in full duration, gives you better control and manipulation of that note value. So by focusing on reading literally first, it helps in what I call stylistic reading later, to where you use your musical judgment on how you want something to feel. You shape the notes to a degree.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Okay.
All right, so example of out-of-time approach. If I look at measure number 1 of slide 2, I can take as much time as I want on each note thinking about it. All right? Now, actually, at this point, it doesn't really matter what note you're playing, although the note indicated on the music there is an E natural, which would probably be first played. You'd probably go to the 2nd fret on the D string to play that note. Right? But it really doesn't matter. This is all about the rhythm. So actually playing a different 3rd or 2nd string, 3rd or 2nd fret note on each string each time you practice is a good idea, because the strings actually react differently. The thicker strings respond a little bit slower than the thinner ones do. They have to wag a few more times before you actually hear them. You're getting into physics properties there.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So I first noticed this when I got my first 5 string and had my low B string, and for the first week or two, I couldn't figure out why I wasn't locked when I was playing on the low B string. It's like, what is wrong? I thought something was wrong with the bass, But actually it was me, Yeah, because I could not get that string to lock. But see, the thing is I was hitting it like I did the E string. Right? So I had to learn to hit the B string a little bit faster than I did the E string. It's something you naturally adapt to on the 4-string bass that you don't think about it.
I'll be darned.
So you actually hit the thicker strings a little bit quicker than you do. We're talking milliseconds here, but,
Mm-hmm.
It's an interesting thing, yeah. But anyway, that's why it's good to work on the accuracy on all strings because they do not respond the same way.